Series: Violence Against Women. Topic: Violence Against Indigenous Women. A never-ending road?
I get up at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I get up at 3 o'clock to do chores. At 6 o'clock, I leave everything ready for the children to go to school, and I leave for work. Later, at 5 o'clock, I get off work and go home to do chores, wash clothes. And now that my daughter is older, she helps me do the washing while I'm at work. She's the one who has to take the reins. If she is a single mother, she has to take the reins of the household. She has to find a way to provide for her family, her children, and for herself. So there is a greater burden on the indigenous woman.
Since the Spanish conquest, the indigenous people in Colombia have suffered the theft of their lands, violence, discrimination, mistreatment, and poverty. For this reason, their lives have turned into a constant struggle to have their rights recognized and respected.
On many occasions, from within our own families, we discriminate against women, saying, "You have no opinion. You are a woman. Here you have no value."
Such actions of rejection, undervaluation, and mistreatment come from a society that, in addition to denying women their rights, takes away their opportunities. A society that believes it is superior and which imposes principles of inequality, injustice, disrespect, and indifference. So then, in our society, the indigenous woman is seen as inferior, a person who can be exploited, mistreated, and humiliated. If she works outside her community, she is exploited and looked down upon. As if this weren't enough, a large number of indigenous leaders are killed simply for raising their voices in defense of their rights.
Women suffer most with their children in situations of displacement, or many times before the displacement. They are the ones to stand up and defend their husbands, their children. They say, "No, you go on. Escape so they can't kill you. I'll stay here with the children." So they have to face two situations. One, defend their homes, their children, their husbands. And two, stay behind to confront the situation. Because it is said that it is not as easy to kill women, but they are being assaulted, verbally, physically.
Added to their road of pain and suffering are the indolence, negligence, and abandonment to which they are subjected by the Colombian state. Each government, in turn, counts indigenous women as worthless. They aren't worth a dime. Their rights are constantly violated. Their right to attend school and become professionals that contribute to the development of their communities. Their right to receive medical attention in state health centers without restrictions and impediments. The right not to be discriminated against for being women, indigenous, and poor. The right that guarantees their cultural and religious practices. The right to speak their own language without having another language imposed on them.
And with that, too, we women have had to fight for them to give us a space to be heard so that they take into account our needs. But that the government would say, indigenous women have these needs, and that they would collaborate in meeting them, no.
September 5th, International Indigenous Women Day. This date was chosen in honor of Bertolina Sisa, a brave Quechua woman dismembered for raising her voice in defense of their rights. It is not strange, then, that the states and its institutions are the ones who most torment indigenous women. With their attacks, assaults, and their practices of expropriation and dominion, they have generated one of the worst forms of violence against indigenous women and their people, as well as plunging them into the most extreme poverty. The earth is like a woman, because we protect her, defend her, care for her, and respect her, because we grow in her. Indigenous woman, you are the pillar of your family and your community. It is time to reclaim your values, your songs, your dances, your language, the teachings left by your ancestors. That is the only thing that truly differentiates you from the rest of society.
Whether we are indigenous or not, I believe all of us women have suffered the same consequences of discrimination, of violence. And, well, encourage them to keep moving forward and to educate our children, because it is in the education of our children where perhaps we will find the peace for our society that we so yearn for.
It is also time to raise your voice in defense of your rights and show your abilities, to work with your people and for your people, to denounce the corruption of governments that do not respect your rights and your fundamental liberties, to tolerate no longer the racist and discriminatory attitudes of a society that rejects and undervalues you, of a society that has the obligation of respecting you, because you represent our true roots. Not one step backwards.
We have to keep fighting and recover the space, or at least win for ourselves the space, to move forward and to be heard. We should express everything that we feel, so that someday we can have the space that we have dreamed of, and move forward, fighting for our organizations and for our children.